My name's Tommy. I concrete paving streets and parking lots up here for about 20, 25 years. I got up over 50 and decided it's time to get out of concrete. Things haven't really been that great for me since that point. I've been a little bit odd jobs here and there. Financial reasons, I ended up out here. It does get really tough in the wintertime, even for me. You wake up in the morning and and there's frost on the walls. Your clothes are frosty. Throw them inside the sleeping bag with you for a little while and try to warm them up, get into them, and get out and run around. But other than that, that's about all you can do about it. And being out here with no address, no phone, it does make it difficult when you go to apply for certain jobs. As soon as they find out that you're homeless, they think you're not worth their time, regardless of what reputation you may have built over the years. Unless they know you, once they find out you're homeless, don't have a phone, they drop your application in the trash can as soon as you leave. It's not so much the fact that I'm living out here, it's the fact that I have to live out here. Financially, I don't have a choice. And I see the world going on around me all the time. And it's like candy just out of reach. And that, as much as I hate to admit it, that does work on your mind. It tends to put you down a time or two.
My name is Rita. I was living and working in LA when I first came into this country from Canada. I was a government employee. So I had my son, my daughter, and a baby. I was happy. I was playing house. My second winter here from California, I got an apartment downtown off of Woodland and 18th Street. And it cost me $300 for a one-room efficiency. In the wintertime, the heat cost me another $300. And that was 2 weeks of my salary. I came down to where I'm staying now on my bicycle. Psyched out of the place, called it a tow truck. Tow truck came down, got me, my camper, my stuff, and pulled me in. I was looking out my window, and his dog came down. He had a young pup, about 4 or 5 months old. And his dog came down to me, and I said, well, I'm going to take his dog back to him. And I walked it up the path. And I looked on the path. There was somebody was lying on their face in the snow. And turned him over, and it was Bobby. And I took the snow and the ice out of his beard. I felt him. He hadn't been dead very long, There's a saying, yea, though you walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I'll fear no evil. I know I'm walking through the valley of the shadow of death now.
My name's Al Looper. I've been homeless 18 years, and I became homeless due to my alcoholism. I just gave up. When I lost the house and lost my family, I just quit working, quit doing anything that meant anything to me because I had nothing. I've lived underneath bridges in the wintertime. I've lived in tents in the wintertime. It's hard.
Describe it. Why is it hard?
Cold, wetness, the dew. No matter how much you try to put the blankets and stuff around your tent, all your stuff inside, you try to put it in the corner so you got more room. It's wet. It gets soaked. You lose a lot of clothes.
Describe your lowest point and what it was like.
Losing my kids. The house didn't bother me much, but I missed out on their growing up. I came here for this reason, to get back with my family. I can't see my grandbaby because I live out in the woods. In order for me to actually have a relationship with my grandbaby, I need to have her in a clean apartment, in an environment that is worthy of a grandchild and a grandfather.
My name's Terry Schumann. I've lived out in Las Vegas, Nevada for the past about 15 years. I was married for 15 years, and Basically, my husband drove semi coast to coast for a living, and we lived out there. He ended up getting a gambling habit, and we ended up fighting over, paying bills or gambling. And needless to say, I lost, and he got mad at me and told me to get my things and get out. Basically, I just try to find me a spot. I'd more or less walk all day looking around to find a safe enough spot where I wouldn't get bothered and where I'd feel secure. And then I'd go ahead and either set up my tent or just roll the sleeping bag out and go to sleep for the night. It got to the point where I went out, I think it was off of Euclid and 235, Interstate 235. I sat there on that bridge, and it was raining, and I just felt like giving up. And I was debating on jumping off the bridge.
My name's Laddie. I was living in Perry for a few years, moved from Denison. Come back up here. My wife wanted to be around her family and stuff, so we moved back up here, and my drinking was pretty bad, and she had enough of it, so we split up. And after about a year and a half, I ended up coming up here, and my wife my wife moved to Missouri, and that's when I kind of started being homeless. My boss actually went on vacation for a week, and I had nothing to do. Nobody called for work or anything, so I decided one day just to go check my emails down at the library. Went and checked my emails, and like the fourth or fifth one down, I had seen my wife was back in Perry. Went through a lot of problems down there, a lot of trouble, in the beginning, but in the end, it all turned out, everything settled down, and got to working, and went off my medicine for about 5-6 months, and because I was working enough to where it took care of my anxiety and depression, and tried to move on a little bit. What happened was happening, and the best way to deal with it was to work through it, and that's what I did. Got a job and just went to work.
It's a struggle, for sure, really. I mean, I guess you got one opinion of what homeless is until you go down and meet them or live down there, and it's a whole nother story.
My name is Mary. I'm an RN. I've been one for 25 years. I was working in California, and I was in an abusive relationship, and it ended up giving me post-traumatic stress, and I wasn't able to work anymore. I used to make, doing a double, like $780 a day. I was bringing $4,000 a week, and I had a nice life, a nice house on the beach, and then I couldn't work, and I couldn't pay my bills, and then I was homeless. I had no place to go, so my boyfriend and I went down between the 7th and 9th Street Bridge and started making our home, basically. There was men all camped all around me. It was terrible. I met women by themselves that had big dogs. I know a girl down the way that she was getting really worked over, and where could she go though? There was nowhere to go. I was just humiliated and mad at myself to be in this situation because I thought I should be stronger, and I couldn't believe I lost my house on the beach. My mom died several months ago and left me some money, and I bought a van. I don't need a van, I needed a car, but all the seats went down, and subconsciously I was thinking, if I'm ever homeless again, at least I have this.
My name is Van. My last woman had some health problems, and the bills were mounting up quickly. One of my friends said, well, that I could make a lot of money making crack. When they popped me, I was facing 50 years. I bargained it down to 13 for manufacturing and distribution. When I got out of prison, I thought I'd go right back to the mainstream, go right to work. But then a lot of my friends, said we'd love to hire you, but our insurance company doesn't think that's such a good idea. In the 2 years I've been out of prison, I've had 2 heart attacks, 2 strokes, and four major operations. And that's one of them. I made my money by picking up cans and bottles, digging in dumpsters, and I would guess I walk about 20 miles a day because I go all over town.
If you couldn't walk, suddenly if you couldn't walk and you were out here in a tent, what would happen? I mean, what would that be like if there was no one around to help you?
Well, well, one of two things. If I was able to walk, I'd either starve to death or kill myself. One of the two choices.
So what has Joppa done for you?
Oh my, what has Joppa done for me? Everything from batteries to Band-Aids, blankets, baked beans.
Last year, when we had the 3 major snowstorms, you know, Joppa brought propane, heaters, even brought coffee, which was a lifesaver.
You helped me with my bus ticket to Nevada.
And why did you go?
My sister died, and I hadn't seen her about 15 years, and it was my last chance to say goodbye.
If it wasn't for Joppa, I wouldn't be alive today. It's quite simple. Joppa's provided me with propane. Joppa's given me sleeping bags to stay warm with warm clothes so I don't die.
Wintertime, like now, you know, you guys bring propane down to us and stuff. The propane comes in handy. It keeps everybody warm down there, you know.
So I talked to God every day and said, please, just give me some place where I can stay and I don't have to worry about not having a house. And then you guys came and helped me get a house. And now I can take care of myself. But I couldn't have done it without you. Couldn't have.
You know, I was feeling like it was just the end of the world. You know, I just felt like giving up. Then when I found out about you and you showed up with your wife and your son, it's like I had some hope again, you know? That red brick right there with the tower up behind it, that's the apartment building that I live in.
I think I probably would have been dead already. You know, if it had been for the stuff that Joppa's done for me.
Some people die out there. People freeze to death. People get murdered. Women get raped. We can't do anything to help these people unless we have donations. That's why I was so happy to give what I did, you know, because I knew it would help someone, and I knew how, because it had happened to me.
If it wasn't for donations, people wouldn't, you know, we went and got the trailer and got into the trailer house. Probably still be living out there.
I'm getting off the river due to Joppa's love and kindness to me. This is one person that doesn't need Joppa no more. If a little bit of money can help 5 or 6 other people get off the river, isn't it worth it?
To all these people, my biggest thing is thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. And if it wasn't like for people like Joppa, it'd be a hell of a lot worse down here than it already is.
It's nice to get off of work and come home and sit on a nice couch and take a shower and eat a nice hot meal off of a real stove, you know, even though the stoves you guys bring us are good, but it ain't nothing like sitting in your own house.